Oh, hey, this is like our first live stream in a while.
Yeah, you've been out and about, and I look all weird in this position. I look all spooky because of bad lighting.
No, we're just kind of just experimenting just different things with Eat the Magic here. Not used to the camera being on my face like at this angles. Like, yeah, I'm used to like my selfie angle where like I don't look really cheeky.
See, if I keep it like this, though, I can do a really good cosplay of Professor Tomo
Professor Tomo.
from Sailor Moon.
Mm.
Just my whole face is shadowed. This is.
So yeah, we're just here to just talk about our impressions of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So where are we gonna start with this? Because you're wearing the hat.
I am wearing the hat. Okay, so uh where to begin? Okay, so initially we got our wristbands actually relatively easily. We knew to go to the what they call it, the launch bay.
And if you listen really carefully right now, you can hear fireworks from Disneyland. Yes, we are that close.
So we went to launch bay, got our wristbands, and I'm going to get back to this because there's information they should have given people when they went into the launch bay, and we'll get into that as we explore the whole thing. Let's just kind of get through our tale, and then we'll get through thoughts, I think. And from there, when our time came in, they let you through like an initial part of the gates near Critter Country, and then you get to sit there and wait until they allow everyone to properly enter. And so we sat there and waited for 45 minutes or something like that. It wasn't that long of a wait. It didn't eat into our main, it ate a little bit into our main time, but for the most part, it didn't.
We got to the park at around 3 o'clock. I just ended up parking at Mickey and Friends structure, and then we just took like just a walk over to launch bay. We got our wristbands, and because I took care of all the confirmations and the reservations, what I did was like, okay, I pulled up my phone and I was wondering, like, hey, is it going to be on the Disneyland app? It wasn't on the Disneyland app, so I had to like pull my phone to the original email because I thought they were going to transfer it to the email. I mean, to the app associated with my account. But I also realized, oh yeah, there's not like. I realized, like, yeah, not everyone who's doing the reservation is an AP.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to pull up the original email, and the QR code wouldn't even load in the email, and we were in launch bay for that.
Yeah, that was annoying.
So, but luckily, all I had to do is just put in my email address, and they were able to check us in. I don't remember what planet we got for our time slot.
It wasn't like a popular planet. It was, some sort of deep dive planet.
Yeah, it's last I remember just reading about it while we were online for Star Tours. It was a planet that was housed one of the Imperial Academy.
Oh, yeah, it was.
And it's a very hot planet.
It's a hot planet for the Academy. You know what? Maybe it might actually be the planet that Solo goes to in Solo, the Star Wars story, because I know he's on some sort of rough planet initially for his training. I think it might be that planet. But it is one of the Imperial Academies. It's supposed to be a relatively arid planet and of no major note beyond that.
So what they do when they give you a wristband, they kind of give you the wristband. They give it. There's a QR code on there, and there's also your reservation time and your boarding group. And your boarding group is a name of a planet. It's kind of like you're coming in from this planet into Batuu.
Which, if I'd known we were going to get an Imperial base, I would have probably gone with my original Imperial idea. I swapped up my bound basically so that we could both be legends, which was I still am happy I did that.
I was gonna go as well. I went as Mara Jade, and that was my original plan from the get-go. And I know there's like a lot of Star Wars people on YouTube who are like, "Oh no, because it's Disney Star Wars, they're not gonna let you in if you're wearing a Legends outfit." Like, yeah, they let me in.
Well, one, with bounding, how can they really tell? I went as Karan Horn from the X-Wing novels, who eventually is a major character in the New Jedi Order novels, and no one cared.
Yeah, no one cared that I was Mara Jade. So like, but I got to represent one of my favorite characters when I was reading the books when I was a tiny Aerie.
Because the thing is, they're not going to be cool if you're wearing a costume because there's rules about that. Hell, there's rules about that for Disneyland in general. So of course there's rules for that for Galaxy's Edge. This is not Wizarding World where you can throw on your robes and run around with your wand and have fun. This is about like you're basically a space tourist, which not as fun. Which is why I went as Karan Horn because I was like, oh, I'm on the trail of a member of Black Sun and I'm going to take him down.
So the cool thing about Galaxy's Edge is like there's this whole role play thing with the cast members, and you're kind of stepping into a Star Wars story that takes place in between episodes 8 and 9.
Hmm.
So the Falcon is just chilling there, and then like Ray and Chewbacca are just kind of like just keeping things on watch because there is a resistance base there,
And
and
base
the
is in the loosest of terms. It's a resistance kiosk.
and then you also have the First Order just kind of keeping things in order.
And they have more of a real base. They got a whole landing area for one of their transport ships.
It's actually Kylo Ren's TIE Echelon, which was made for this park. I just nickname it as Kylo Ren's Honda Civic.
Yeah, good enough. So the way the whole land is set up, and I'm sorry for bouncing around a lot. There's a lot to kind of
There's a lot to cover here.
The land is kind of two zones. You have more of a cityfied zone, and that is the like First Order area, and then you have the foresty zone that there's almost no photos of, and I know why, which is the Resistance zone. And the Resistance zone has like nothing. There's the Resistance kiosk. There's the entryway into the ride that doesn't exist. There's an X-wing and what looks to be it looks to be like a tiny A-wing. So I'm assuming it's some sort of air car or land speeder of some sort. That's just a design I don't recognize, but it looks like a tiny A-wing. And that's kind of it. You can get a photo op with Chewbacca or a Gonk droid, and probably Rey. I'm sure
Yeah,
she's
Ray
running around.
said she's hanging out there, but they don't really have like official photo spots like launch bay. They're just kind of running around, and if you're lucky, if you have your phone camera out, you can take a selfie with them, and you're stepping into the story. And you also have an original character made for Galaxy's Edge, V Moradi. She appears in the Phasma book, and she's also going to get a book of her own uh, later this summer. So she's kind of like the resistance spy that just kind of like this roaming around. There is a running story that goes on through the day, but it's just kind of hard to just kind of catch on if you're like just doing so many things in Galaxy's Edge.
Also, unlike say uh, Ghost Town Alive, and this needs a lot of comparisons to that. Ghost Town Alive, it's like certain times, and they'll basically tell you like, oh yeah, there's supposed to be a rob. The rumor says they're going to rob the bank at 11 o'clock. And then you can go to the bank and see either join the robbery or just watch from the outskirts or however you want to do, or like they had where they were going to call out members of the sorry about that, what's the name of that other family that's there, same Mayfields, where they were going to call out people from the Mayfield family, and they're like, we're doing it at 3 o'clock, we're going to get them Mayfields. So you have that kind of stuff. You don't really have that here. It's like there's a movie going on but you're an extra and no one gave you a script. And it doesn't make it exciting or fun because you can't really follow it per se, because there doesn't seem to be scheduled times for stuff. I would much rather just like say someone eventually comes up and says, oh, by the way, here's the times for events at Galaxy's Edge: 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 7 o'clock. And I go, thank you. And it's like, oh, at 11 o'clock you need to be by the First Order base. At 1 o'clock be at the Resistance zone, blah 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 blah. And that'd be great. And then I would, take the time and say, okay, we want to go to this ride, but it's 3:30 and I want to see the next story event. So let's just go grab some blue milk and chill out for 30 minutes. But there's nothing like that.
Because all these events just happen at random. Like
and
when we were grabbing blue and green milk, check out our videos on that. The whole like Kylo Ren decides to like, hey, I'm Kylo Ren, check me out. Show started up.
Yeah, he basically chokes one of his subordinates, and it's like, I'm going to go on patrol, and I will find the Resistance. I'm like, you walk 20 feet that way.
Hey, Kylo Ren, can we have a photo op with you?
And then people are asking for photo ops. Although I liked, he was like, if you're not a spy, you're clearly a fool getting in my way, or something like that. And I was like, all right. It has some little moments, but it's just, unless you're going to follow around Kylo Ren and to watch the whole event unfold, it's not quite as well structured as say Ghost Town Alive.
I really felt like I really felt like there needed to be more finesse and polishing when it came to being immersed in the story, especially by the cast members. The cast members, I know they're working their hardest, they're doing their best, but I also noticed that there were some inconsistencies. Like I was listening to the Mice Chat podcast, and they can't really say like, oh, the 9:30 fireworks are happening over the Millennium Falcon. one said like, oh, I hear there's going to be a battle at or an air raid at 9:30, whereas when we were at Galaxy's Edge, the cast member said like, oh, it's Uga's celebration,
Yeah,
check this
the
out.
Hutt who apparently owns the city or whatever, and that's pretty cool. Actually, I believe the line was even, "Well, we're hoping we make enough money so Uga will reward us with a celebration." And by the way, there's no music for it, so
Well, we're getting the fireworks from like the main
no,
for the main park.
I mean, obviously, but you'd think they'd set up like a something for there, and instead, by the way, you're so close to the fireworks being in there. Like when one hit, I nearly dove to the ground
Because you actually thought it was an actual air raid.
Not an air raid. I thought someone shot a gun. I thought like, oh crap, someone's actually shooting a gun in Disneyland, and I damn near dived to the ground and swore really loud. So I'm sure there's a bunch of parents who are like, "Who's that jerk who just swore when the fire went?" Like, that was too damn loud. And again, if an announcement went over and said like Uga's celebration of Bunta Eve, even though that means every like day would be Bunta Eve, but whatever. It's a Hutt holiday. Look it up.
They also reference Boonta Eve on Star Tours.
Mhm. Yeah,
And I
well,
had to ask you what that was, and that's like
it's
Hut Jesus is going up to Hut heaven,
yeah, basically
kind of like the
a
ascension.
Hutt. Yeah, a Hutt ascends to godhood, is what happened. Bunta the Hutt ascended to godhood, and thus they celebrate the eve of that, kind of like how some people celebrate Christmas Eve, and less so than Christmas. Christmas is the in certain cultures you either celebrate the day before or the day after Christmas, with Christmas as a day of reverence. In America, we just celebrate Christmas as all of it, reverence and presence. But as established in episode 1, yeah, that's episode 1 when it's first referenced, and built upon in the books, it is basically some Hutt ascended to godhood, and thus we're celebrating the day of the ascension. And so on Tanui, Jabba basically throws a pod race and probably some fireworks at night, who knows? And they could do that. Uga's going to celebrate that, and let's all, hear that. And then they could play some uniquely made music that you could only hear in that section of the park to really add to the whole thing. But they don't have that yet. They really should. Take notes, Disney people, if you're listening to me.
Also, shout out to Casa Parents for recommending us to check out the fireworks.
Yeah,
That was nice.
That was nice of them. It was weird seeing them because we ran into them at Heroes Assemble, and I was like, oh well, that's coincidental. And ran into them again. And like, if all the days to have all the days to have a reservation, not only are the same like group of us, I think
they were in the same group
and the same day, and like, what are the odds? It's not like we coordinated, so it was just really kind of weird to just run into them, and it was super cool. They're great people,
and they were bouting as sequel trilogy Han and Leia. So anytime I look at them, I'm like, oh, it's Han and Leia as they should be.
Yeah, it's
no, I like I like Han and Leia having a happily ever after, but going on adventures.
Like in the Legends, Legends live forever.
Hashtag Legends live forever. Anyway, so we get our wristbands, and then we just go into the Critter Country area to see if we can get in. Well, first I strategized. Okay, one of the first things that we want to do is Uga's Cantina for Eat the Magic. So let's go to the entrance that's closest to Uga's Cantina.
Yeah.
Luckily, we found this out early because otherwise we've been screwed. So the cast member's like, oh, this is an exit only. You have to go all the way to the Hungry Bear restaurant entrance to get into Galaxy's Edge. And I'm like, okay, then now there's going to be like a bum rush for the cantina.
Yeah.
And for reservations. Yeah.
We did get a reservation, but
we got a reservation via cell phone. And I thought we were like close to the line where we can because we got in line, we weren't like far back where it was circling around, but we were in a position at least we were able to get a reservation for 8:00. And by the time it was 8:00, I was checking my cell phone because they check you in via cell phone. And
they send you a text.
And it's like, oh, I didn't get the text. Maybe there's something up. It's Disney. Sometimes the mobile signal might be a little bit funky. Let me just check in with them to just kind of make sure that we're all in. And it appears that we're no longer taking any more reservations today. And then I found out when we were in line for the Millennium Falcon, I just overheard someone saying oh, they ran out of alcohol, so they weren't taking any more reservations or any more people in.
Specifically, what the person said is they ran out of alcohol 5 minutes after we entered the cantina. which to me sounds like they didn't even get their drinks. They were literally in line to go order drinks. Like, we're out. It's like, oh, cool.
That sucks.
Guess we'll just sit around and listen to DJ Rex for a few minutes and then go to the Millennium Falcon ride. So that's what they did, and they were just behind us. So I can't imagine that. So that must have happened basically probably close to 8 o'clock or maybe just before 8 o'clock.
And I was kind of bummed out because I really wanted to try some of the drinks. Like, even though I was driving, I was ready to just try the virgin drinks.
Hmm?
And I know you had a couple ones that you had in mind because I was hoping to get like an earlier reservation, and so at least I can have a drink before driving back up. But looks like, I'll just go for a virgin drink. It's no big deal.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's definitely in that category of there's a lot of unpreparedness that I noticed. Because look, by the point that you got to ours, which was earlier last week, or yeah, I guess it'd be last week at this point, you think they would have gotten that stuff and understand how much booze they would need per day, understand how much of whatever they need. You know, they ran out of loth cats. You couldn't grab a loth cat.
Yeah, I was pretty sad about that. Let's talk about just a bit about the shopping.
Okay, well,
experience
we'll kind of
there.
go in the order we went in. At Critter Country Shop, they have it's an interesting mix of stuff because
I like how you call it Critter Country shop.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna call it whatever.
The creature stall.
I also called it Animal Rescue. I believe is what I referred to it when we were getting our photo taken. When I was like, "Yeah, we were at the Animal Rescue, but they
It's
have
a rescue.
They no loth cats." It's like you could rescue something else, but yeah. But I mean, they have wampas. I actually do like the wampas, and I just kept grabbing one. I'm like, "My name's Harold," and all 5 of you who get that reference, you guys can be my friends. And they have the tauntauns and the porgs that you can find over at Launch
They have
Bay.
a lot of porgs.
A lot of porgs. They had both nerfs and banthas, which I thought was kind of cool. But then they had weird stuff, like they had Minox full sucker thingies, so you could actually put them like on your car and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't want Minox on our car. That'd be terrible.
That'd be terrifying.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't want that. And I believe they also had the weird tentacle thingy from Rogue One, the brain tentacle thing. And I'm like, why is there the brain tentacle thing here? Who's gonna buy the brain tentacle thing?
People with really weird fetishes.
Point. But it's kind of nice to see a large animal assortment there. They ran out of loth cats, which apparently is the most popular thing. I didn't realize that
cats are pretty universal because I was saying like for the longest time, like if y'all make a loth cat, I would buy all the loth cats.
I think there's a lot of Rebels fans who said that.
And then because it's a cat, it sells out. And I'm actually happy that the loth cats are picking up in popularity because they've always been my favorite Star Wars creature since Rebels. The other thing that was sold out was the Salacious Crumbs.
Yeah, I didn't see any lizard monkeys there. So monkey lizards, whatever the heck they're called. Yes, they
can like sit on your shoulder. That one I get, like puppeteer.
Yeah, because you can puppeteer them on your shoulder and stuff like that. And I get that those would have sold out relatively quickly, as annoying as they are. The one thing I would like, and unfortunately it's Legends, is I want is Samri. So,
but does he have one in Rebels?
It might be in the background actually. Yeah,
because like in the painting they have in the antique store, it shows Thrawn with his Isamari. They're kind of like iguanas. They're kind of like jub-jubs.
Yeah, they're iguana-esque. And actually, one of the few action figures of I don't really buy a lot of action figures, but around 2001 or 2002, they did issue a Thrawn, and he actually has one like on his shoulder. And I'm like, man, I want that version of the Thrawn toy that has this Neil Samri on his shoulder. Or Isamari, or however you want to pronounce it.
Just call them jub-jubs.
Yeah. But I wanted that. I'm like, oh, I want one of those. Kind of cool. It'd be distracting to place a character who actually is a Jedi, which is Karan Horn. Yeah, spoiler, he gets to be a Jedi. And actually, the reason for it is because Michael Forsythe felt that like it wasn't Star Wars if you didn't have a Jedi on the team. So he's like,
Forsythe.
What?
Michael Forsythe?
Yeah.
Mm.
So the actual author was like, I guess I need to make someone a Jedi. Well, my new character, my lead, Karan, guess what? You're a Jedi now.
I thought the author was Michael Stackpole.
That was a Stackpole. You're right. Shoot,
Forsythe. It's like Forsythe. Like he wrote a Star Wars book. What?
No, he didn't. No, so I'm mixing up with someone else. Sorry about that. Michael Stackpole said that it didn't feel like Star Wars without a Jedi character in there somewhere, so he turned Karan. He retconned his own character's backstory to be of Jedi lineage, which is fine. Plus, he gets that cool silver lightsaber. I don't know how you explain silver as a coloration, but it sticks with Karan Horn's colors of black, green, and silver.
So the creature art was really cute. I was actually just kind of just playing things up with the cast members behind the cash register. It's like, yes, how much is that thing in the cage? Like, no, not for sale. They're very temperamental, especially that one. It's like, oh, when are you gonna have like a new thing? And when are you gonna get a new shipment of them? Like, oh, they all found homes. Like, oh, I'm happy they found homes. They're so adorable, and I hope I could find a home for one of them too.
What was the thing in the cage? Yeah,
it was like, a lothcat. It was so cute.
That's right. That's right.
It had like a little porg thing that was cuddling up with it. It was purring, and his tail was going swishy swish.
Okay.
I would have lothcat, and I found out they're back in stock as of yesterday. So I'm like, oh dang! I just kind of wish like our deluxe passes would allow us to check it out, but sadly, I'm pretty sure Disney knows better now to like stock up on lothcats because they're the ones that are selling up like the most. And I think they just kind of overshot their stock of porgs because when we were in Launch Bay during opening weekend, we didn't go into Galaxy's Edge because we didn't have reservations, but we were in the parks during opening weekend.
Yeah, we were with one of our friends.
And basically, yeah, there's a lot of porgs. And there's still a lot of porgs when we were there.
Yeah. I don't think the porgs are nearly as popular as Disney wanted them to be.
I mean, they're sort of adorable, but I wouldn't drop like $70 for one.
But again, there's a difference between adorable and popular. Because like the Ewoks are adorable, but I wouldn't call the Ewoks popular. I like Ewoks. I have a Wicket plush.
It's right there, right by the meow sticks.
Should have brought him up so you just have Wicket the whole time. Like that.
Do you want to grab Wicket right now?
No, because it's going to mess up the camera thing. And
I can hold it. Go grab Wicket.
Look, I don't have a lot of Star Wars merch. Knocked everything over.
Hi, I'm moving the camera around so we can get a more stable camera.
I can lean in now. Cool, like I'm Spicoli or something. Yep, nub. Yep.
You know some Ewok. I taught you some Ewok. Other Ewok phrases do you know? Yeah, you can't adopt an Ewok yet.
Well, that would be slavery.
Whoops, my bad.
Adopting an Ewok would be slavery, I think.
Yeah, but in what was it? In one of the
but they do have that at the toy shop. I'm surprised they don't have Ewoks there. They do have Yodas, and they do have like toys of the other characters. That was the next place we went to, was the toy shop.
You can like sit up, too. Yeah,
that is
show here. Disneyland Resort.
Yep.
This is actually an official Disneyland Resort Ewok that you got like a long time ago in a theme park down the street.
Yeah. Play with this the
Make the frame even.
Shift over, do this, do that. Play with an Ewok. No. If we had a Lothcat, he could ride the Lothcat into battle.
I was actually thinking about names for the Lothcat. It was pretty much between Aznable and Telephony.
Telephony.
What are you looking at me for? Get that thing off my hat. All right, let's talk about some other stores. So there was like the place that sold Jedi robes. Like I'm not really into like Jedi stuff, but they look pretty cool.
They're also very expensive.
Then we went to the Jewels of Beath, which is kind of like the Batuu souvenir store. It's kind of like their equivalent to an ABC store in Hawaii.
It really was. It was all
like
this,
your I Love New York kind of stuff, but
yeah,
Batuu.
all this kitschy Batuu stuff.
It's like, yeah, if you're a tourist, like take
Black Spire Outpost.
I like the postcard set though; that look pretty cool. And Pokemon follow me, like what Pokemon follow me. It's a Pachi.
There's too many plushes up here.
I'm gonna put the Pachi up here. Other stores did you see, Jared?
I cosplay as Dawn. I have a Pachirisu plush.
I used to cosplay as Dawn from Pokemon. Anyway, we also went to the First Order cargo store.
Yeah, they have model kits for TIE fighters, which is nice for model kit people like me. Because I used to have Star Wars model kits, but they all broke or got lost over the years. And they had like the cool like recruitment posters, and they had various. God, what's the name of the unit that's stationed there? The 709. 709.
I was surprised, like, oh, you didn't go for 714, the area code of Orange County?
Yeah. Too amused watching Wicked do stuff. Uh, but he's like, boop. So I shouldn't have grabbed this. I really shouldn't have. I'll set him aside there. So my only thought when I was I'm in the shot, sort of like leaning in now. My only thought when I was there was, man, if this was Imperial, all this stuff would be sold already.
I'm like, if it was Imperial, I'd be all over that because I'm not really feeling the first order. No, no, thank you.
Well, I don't like the lack of imagination new trilogy. So, in fact, the only movies I've actually the one movie I really enjoyed was Rogue One, and I actually kind of enjoyed Solo, which I know is like blasphemy. I'm supposed to hate Solo. I'm like, yeah, Solo, but I'm like,
I enjoyed Solo, but I
Solo's
think
fine.
yeah, I
I
was
just
one
would
of
have
those
like,
people that would prefer like Solo to be like a 5 like part miniseries on Netflix.
I'd have liked Solo to just keep the rest of Woody Harrelson's crew alive. Oh, spoilers! They all die in like the first 5 minutes
I
of
like
the movie.
Maeve. I love Andy. I love Andy. Yeah.
An
I'm
Alien
also a
guy.
Westworld fan.
I liked Alien guy too. He had a cool crew, and I wanted like Han to be part of the crew for more of the movie. I thought that'd be kind of a more interesting
I
direction to
wanted to
go,
see more of
rather than
Han's
introduce.
Imperial training.
Hmm.
I want to
There's a
see
whole
more of
comic
that
for that.
background.
They did release a comic that fills in all the crazy stuff he pulled at the Academy,
And I
which
also
is
wanted,
great, but the movie could use that.
yeah, I also wanted to see kind of like what Darth Maul's been up to, and just kind of where this fits into with the timeline with
That
Rebels.
that I didn't care about. I thought that was just fan service, not even the good kind.
But I just also just kind of see how it ties in with Darth Maul's role in Rebels. It's like, okay, if he's leader of the Syndicate, and then but he's also like this lone Sith by the time the Rebels time story pops up.
And
How does
very
that
much on the edge of
transition
insanity
in?
because he's not stable at all. So yeah, I think it was just there to like, see, there's a character you recognize, which is great if you watch the cartoons, and if you didn't watch the cartoons, you go, wait, he's dead. And yeah, I don't know what their plan was. I still really want to see the Lord and Miller cut. I know it probably
Same.
doesn't exist, and Disney will never release it because why ever admit we made a mistake? Because usually if they quote made a mistake, they just cease releasing that thing instead of saying, hey, here's the alternate option. Whatever. Let's get back to Galaxy's Edge. So it was fine. I mean, if you like the new movies and you like the First Order and the stupid smiley stormtrooper helmets, there's stuff there for you. I hate those new helmets so much. They look so dumb. What other the other
Oh, I
stores?
like the antique store, Doc
Yeah, I was about to
Ondor's.
go to
That
Doc
was kind
Ondor's.
of it was kind of a little bit tricky to find because I thought that was the entrance to the build a lightsaber workshop. By the way, we didn't really do the droid depot or the lightsaber
We
workshop.
walked into the Droid Depot and looked around. We can do it real quick because Doc Ondor's
Sure.
actually is a conversation.
I love the droid depot.
There is some stuff I like about it. They have like the wreckage of an Imperial protocol droid.
Yeah, the Roger Rogers.
Yeah, they had remainders of some battle droids. They had remainders
Hit
of
droids, hit the nose.
a pit droid. Like I said, the Imperial protocol droids. For those who don't know, that is what K2SO is. He's just a repurposed one.
He's headless there.
Mm-hmm. Well, if it's him, it could just be any number of the other models. And then you can actually find even outside they have like a chopper and an R5 and stuff like that. So the stuff around the shop is actually kind of cool to look at and take photos of, or get posed with from one of the Disney photographers. But the shop itself doesn't really have a lot that I thought was particularly interesting. But it looks like for the parts and pieces you can put together to make something, you have quite a few options, which is better than I was expecting. I was expecting
I'd
your
actually
options
like to do it one of these days when I have like the money and time to do it, and the space because like we kind of have like itty bitty living spaces right now. But what I've heard is like the droid can actually interact with parts of Galaxy's Edge, so you can take the droid a second time, or like for multiple visits to Galaxy's Edge, and it will react to different things. So I think like let me just look up what all the droid parts that are available because I'm just very particular on what kind of droid I want. I want a chopper droid.
I wouldn't mind to make Whistler from, and then I could go around as Coran Horn of Whistler and it make me happy.
What's Whistler's model?
Whistler, I believe, is an R2, but his coloration is black and green because Coran Horn's coloration is black, green, and silver. And he is very well because the droid was with him when he was a member of Corsac, which is Corellian Security, which is basically Corellia's Interpol. as I understand it, like they're the global police and
Galaxy Police.
Galaxy Police. Yeah, the Galaxy Police policemen from that hit show, Galaxy Police Policeman. That's a Tenchi Universe reference, people. And no, it's not. It's Tenchi in Tokyo. Shoot. Darn it. I screwed it up. I ruined it. I mixed up which of two. It's Shin Tenchi Muyo and not the original. But I just, if I could get that kind of coloration, I think it'd be kind of cool. Even just to have them on my desk is like, yeah, that's Whistler. I can't remember what Gates coloration is. I know Gates in R5. I just can't remember.
And
what
you
Gates
can also
is.
put in a program personality chip.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is probably something we might look into the future. But for now, we just really wanted to explore and just kind of like just check the lay of the land.
But let's go to Doc Ondor's because that's the last shop we ended up hitting.
I love Doc Ondor's.
The only place we didn't actually walk into was the lightsaber one because you kind of can't. I'm not quite sure what the rules are on that one.
Well, thematically, like Sevi's workshop, you're not. They can't, the cast members, just to stay in character and to keep like the immersion alive. It's not known as the lightsaber workshop, so you have to like call it like Sevi's workshop, which is again a scrap shop.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for the lightsaber workshop, or you're looking for Sevi's workshop.
I mean, I'm not sure if you're allowed to walk into Sevi's workshop if you're not going to buy something.
Because you have to have a reservation. Yeah, you have to have a reservation to go, and even then, you can bring in like a +1 if you're doing it as a family type thing. But I heard the experience is pretty cool. But I think we're just gonna watch it on YouTube because right now I can't justify spending $200 on a lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. But you could get a proper purple one from Mara if you wanted to full-on cosplay Mara, which I think you do have a full-on Mara cosplay.
I have that in the works. I just haven't really finished it. I have all the supplies for Mara Jade, but just haven't had the chance to finish it.
Because why walk around with, Anakin's lightsaber when you could walk around with her actual lightsaber? Granted, that's New Jedi Order era, but whatever. I'm having less negative feelings towards New Jedi Order because I've seen episodes 7 and 8. So, yeah. But okay, so Doc Ondor's is like the shop that'll probably have the most visitors. In fact, we learned a lot of stuff recently sold out. Out here, you can find old Imperial stuff, including this hat that I'm wearing now, because somebody needed their green hat. They also have some fancy painting stuff that have really fancy Thrawn thing that you referenced earlier.
Yeah, they had the Thrawn painting going for like $375, I think, and they also had like Thrawn's rank bar, but it was also framed with a photo of Thrawn for about $60. Like, I would have taken that home. But I was just kind of like, well, maybe we're gonna go into Cantina, so I want to like just budget for the Cantina because like, well, my Lost Cat budget is kind of out the window right now, so I have
through off all our sales.
I mean, at least I have money in my pocket, though.
They have Jedi holocrons there, which depending on the crystal you have, you can activate it, and it'll actually have a different quote from a different character, and each color has a different character / quote. So
and you thought it was pretty cool. You said you wanted to get a Jedi or a Sith one yourself.
I prefer the Jedi one mainly because I like it being a cube rather than the weird little triangle thing.
I also like when you walk into Doc Ondor's antique store. There was like this it was kind of like a cave painting, kind of like a fresco type of thing.
Yeah.
Where I actually was reading up a little bit about it. It's like, the Knights of the Old Republic versus like the Ancient Sith.
Yeah, because I was looking at those designs like those because you thought they might be
I thought it was like Yizon Vong. Are they the moon?
Yeah, you thought they were the Yuuzhan Vong, and I looked at them like, actually, it looked like the Sith is the race, not the religion. And yeah, it turns out it's supposed to be the Sith race, so that's pretty cool. Oh, for those who don't know hardcore Star Wars lore, the Sith began as a race of people who worshipped a handful of various dark side users, and eventually the race and the religion kind of fused into one kind of thing. So even though there is an alien race called the Sith, I believe they are long since extinct, but the humans who followed the religious beliefs of those people and either worshipped or became the dark side users of that region of space just called themselves Sith by default. It'd be like if like say Canada had like its own religion, and then eventually in the future being a Canadian was both meant that being a member of that religion order, but also being born in Canada. Like it could mean either or. And then eventually they're the same thing. If that makes sense to people. And yeah, I thought that was kind of cool that they've kept the same design for those aliens, since I don't think you actually see them in much.
To get your episode, your prequel trilogy and the original trilogy stuff and things, you would find it here at Doc Ondor's. And there's a lot of Easter eggs like on the walls. You have
Mhm.
Leia's bounty hunter disguise, that helmet. You also have the helmet used in the Mandalorian mini series that's gonna be on Disney Plus. So I forgot the actor's name, but he was a Game of Thrones guy. Oh, Oberyn, I believe.
Oh, Bryn's playing the main
Yeah, he's playing
Mandalorian.
the Mandalorian.
Okay.
One way to get ahead.
Yeah, I see what you did there. I like that character. He likes getting revenge and having sex with the ladies. Unlike other characters in Game of Thrones who like revenge and having sex with the ladies.
He's also particular to gents.
Look, why make a choice? Look, this is a world where like siblings constantly go at it for no reason.
And they end up some way being in the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised that 2 out of the Sand Sisters are in the Star Wars movie.
Huh.
But anywho,
So yeah, if you want some of the older stuff, that's where you're gonna find it. You'll find Rebellion stuff there, Imperial stuff there, Jedi stuff there, Sith stuff there. I think there might be some Clone Warsy stuff there. I don't remember.
they have Ahsoka's lightsaber. They have your
Ye-
legacy lightsabers
Oh yeah,
there.
the legacy lightsabers as like fancy things you can have on your shelf. Those were also relatively expensive too, I think.
Yeah, Ahsoka's was the most expensive one because it was
'Cause it
like,
comes with the two.
yeah, it's like 200.
And
It's like around 250
I believe
or
it's her
something.
Rebels blades, not her Clone Wars blades.
It's like, I would so that's like the one thing that I would get, like,
Because the Rebels handles are way less ornate because they're made out of leftover ship parts.
So the one souvenir that I did buy from Galaxy's Edge was the hat, and I was wondering how they were going to translate annual pass discount
Mhm.
to Batouese or
Oh,
Batunian.
We're going to get into the RP stuff if you want, or we can use that as a lead into
No,
RP
we can use
stuff.
a lead-in. So basically, as part of the role playing, instead of saying like "Good morning," it's "Bright suns," "Good evening," it's "Rising moons," etc.
So the spires, baby.
Mhm. Uh, bathroom is what was it?
Refresher.
No, that's the water fountain. It's a refresher.
Oh, because in the book they always in the books they used to refer to the bathroom as the fresher or refresher.
Okay, I'm probably mixing things up. My bad.
Well, I don't know unless they've changed up the slang.
Anyway, so the prices of things are listed in credits. So for American dollar, one US dollar equals 1 credit.
Yeah, it's basically instead of having a dollar sign there, it's a C or whatever. And that's it. It's just a word change thing. It's not there's not going to be any exchanging. You don't have to go to like the money changer in the temple and go and change your money in the temple. Reference to religion. It's just that's what they're going to say instead of oh, it's $25. It's 25 credits. And then if you have an annual pass discount, several locations accept annual pass discounts, and they call them
Like credit reduction card.
yeah, credit reduction cards.
Or it was something to that effect. I didn't catch on to that because online one of my friends posted like a list of Batouise phrases. So like kids are called younglings, strollers are called youngling transports. But like, what are you gonna call
I
like
do love
annual
that one,
pass?
though.
What are they gonna call annual passes? Like if you have like an annual pass discount.
Yep, that's like a credit discounter or something like that, or a credit discount card.
Because I was wondering, like, if I ask about pass discount, what like phrase do I use
Mhm.
just to kind of keep things in character?
But they ask first, as they're supposed to do anyways. So they just said, "Do you have a credit discount card?" And you're like, "I do." Here you go. And I think that was kind of clever.
And you were also and then you were also into the role play stuff too.
I was trying to, and we need to get into the cast members, but let's just talk about kind of what what they want versus what is actually going on. So I came in as Coran Horn. I came in with my own little story that I'm on at Blackspire Outpost looking for a member of Black Sun. For those who don't know, Black Sun is the criminal organization that was originally led by Prince Shizor. I think now it's led by Darth
If you
Maul?
played if you play Shadows of the Empire, that's the main syndicate that you're going up against.
Yes, and the Black Sun did continue to exist in Star Wars even post Shizor's death. Whenever they just needed some sort of criminal organization to be the bad guys without having used the Hutts or something. And they do exist in the canon, the new Disney canon, call it Disney canon. I hate calling it canon. It bothers me. But
It's called Cosmic Era.
yeah, in Disney canon, they do still exist. They're referenced in several of the books, including the Wendig books, Ahsoka, and I believe, oh god, one other where I came across it. So they exist, and I think they even existed in a couple Clone Wars episodes too. So they've been around, and so that was my thing. Is that like I'm Karan Horn, I'm here to hunt down a member of Black Sun named a Twi'lek named Geth. And yes, I took the name Geth from Mass Effect because I needed some sort of alien sounding name, and that was the best I could come up with. And so I had a couple occasions to do that, but it seemed like most of the roleplay opportunities weren't particularly there. And I think a lot of this comes down to the fact that most people going to this section of the park have no idea that it's essentially designed to be a roleplay zone, or to some extent. And that confuses a lot of the randos, and even the people who might be super excited for this and know their Star Wars stuff probably aren't expecting it. And the thing is this, when they give you your wristbands, they literally could have someone there who says, oh, by the way, Galaxy's Edge has some roleplay elements. So just be aware that when people say bright suns, they're mean hello. And when they say credits, that means dollars. And by the way, if you want to play along with it, you can play along. If you want to be a bounty hunter or something, you can talk to the cast members about being a bounty hunter or something, and they'll give you some advice or lead you to other locations.
Well, the roleplay stuff for guests is the Disney Play app. So you take the side of either the First Order or the Resistance, and you could start like it's hacking, but there was a
Slicing.
you can be a slicer for either or, and just like slice through like just various data ports, and also translate just various stuff and things.
It's like a really crap version of that card game you can play at Disney World. Because that game's freaking awesome, and I want to play that
cool.
So much.
We're looking forward to that on our Disney World visit.
Down with that.
We're just gonna dedicate like half a day to it. Like I don't care.
So you can do that, but again, that's not what. When I think of role-playing stuff, I'd rather go in as like, and plus, I'm a space cop, or I'm a bounty hunter, or I'm a...
And plus the app, from what I've heard, is just drains your phone so fast.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I wanted to do it, but my phone was already just kind of dying.
Well, the thing is this, it's because it needs to find a signal. And if everyone's trying to find a signal at once, it just burns your energy trying to fight the other signals. And I've seen kids occasionally playing with the app. Like I think when we were at California Adventure one time, there was a kid doing the Easter egg hunt thing, the little AR Easter egg things. And that's kind of cool. And it's a nice little concept, but there was no advertisement for that either.
There was, like, just check it out on the Disney Play app.
Oh, was it just a little sign, like when we got our wristbands?
Also, when you go on the Disneyland app and...
Yeah, but how many people have that app?
People...
I'm pointing out the fact that, like, it didn't feel like it was advertised well enough. I knew the app thing existed. They talked about it on various videos and whatever, but I'm talking about the average person. I'm not talking about the person who does a show about Disney food and other theme park food. I'm not talking about people who have talked on their live streams multiple times about various park updates and new things like that. I mean, Joe Q Public, who's like, oh my God, I want to go to the Star Wars land. I want to meet Dark Vader and Han Solo and Yoders.
Yoders.
And I'm like, well,
that's a new nickname.
I don't even know how to correct you on all three of those names, but they wouldn't be aware of that stuff. You need someone there saying, like, by the way, if you have the Disney Play app, you can go and join the Resistance or the First Order. By the way, here's the slang terms they use in that territory. Have fun. If you want to be a agent for either side, you can go for that. If you want to be a bounty hunter and just walk around being a bounty hunter, do that.
And I didn't bother doing the Play app. As much as I wanted to, my phone battery was much more important, and I didn't bring a battery charger with me.
I did.
So I'm like, well, for some reason your battery charger doesn't work on my phone.
Yeah, I know. I'm worried about that because I have a new phone now, and now I have no idea if my battery charger will work on my phone. So we'll just find out. But yeah, I think they really dropped the ball with this. And look, I think this is a great segue into how put upon every other cast member seems to be.
Yeah, I feel like really sorry for just some of the cast members I ran into, because I could get the vibe that they were really tired and just keeping up in character. Like, I know y'all are doing a great job. I love you all.
The problem is it's hard to stay in character when no one's playing along.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when you again, we're going to go to the comparison of Ghost Town Alive. People know about what Ghost Town Alive is. There's enough advertising for it and what have you that you don't just go to the sheriff of the town and go, "Hey, where's Accelerator?" He'd go like, "What do you mean Accelerator? We ain't got nothing like that over here. You might need to head out of Calico if you're going to try to find something crazy like that." And but you understand that they're acting like Old West people, and if you're in that section, it's Old West. And people, for the most part, seem to play along with it. Some people do the side questing, some people just want to watch the shows, whatever. People play along with it. When no one knows about that in Star Wars, they're just confused, and then they have to ask the same question to the poor cast member 6 times until the cast member finally either breaks down and says, 2 blocks to the go that way, make a left. Or they have to go say, "Oh well, if you want no more location information, you should talk to da 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 right there and leave me the hell alone." And one, that's very frustrating when no one knows because the people handing out the wristbands didn't tell people that there was role play elements. And the thing is this is that wristbands will no longer be needed on Monday,
That's
which means
tomorrow.
now they will be inundated with a crap ton of tourists
So
who
basically,
have
this is
no idea.
how they plan to control crowds starting tomorrow when they have the official grand opening. So basically, you show up at the um, park at 7 a.m. and then you can start making reservations on your phone.
Mhm.
And you're given like a time slot to enter in. So you're kind of like in this virtual queue, and you'll get the buzz from your phone if to get in. If you're doing a reservation for Civi's workshop, Build a Droid, or the Cantina, you'll put in a reservation for that time, and the time you enter in, and the time that you're assigned is the time you can enter into Galaxy's Edge.
Mhm.
And I believe like your time is like increments of 2 hours, but I'm like, if you're not having the wristbands and you're controlling via phone, like how are they gonna like control like if you're overstaying
Yeah,
2 hours?
you're really leaning on the honor system there. So not only that, but then that also was that point of how many rando tourists have the Disneyland app?
No, it's not an app, but it's your phone. And if you don't have a phone, there's like a fast pass, some location where you can pick it up.
Okay, that's fine then. Oh, so they just beep on they you like we did for that one where they just buzz you
Yeah,
with
they
via
just
text message
mhm.
over. Okay, that's fine then. And yeah, if you don't have a phone, okay, that's fine. And again, there's a perfect opportunity to tell people about the role play elements. It's a perfect opportunity for a cast member to say that so the cast members inside don't get stressed out by being bugged by people asking them questions that if they want to remain in character, they can't properly answer, like where's the lightsaber shop? And how do I find the bathroom? To which I say, man, I wish we could get those hall pass thingies that they were talking about initially, because I want to get the hall pass from Mr. Kylo Ren. Mr. Ren, I need to go potty. Can I have a hall
To
pass?
give you some context, there was talk about like, well, if you have to use a bathroom while waiting in line for the Millennium Falcon, you have to get like a bathroom pass, like save your spot in line. And we're making the jokes like, oh, is that like getting a bathroom pass like in first grade? Mr. Kylo Ren, can I use the bathroom?
No, you cannot. What's your pants, pathetic rebel?
I like how you still use Rebel.
I know. I hate the new terms. I'm waiting for 2021 when they just revert this to Galactic Civil War.
I'd be okay with that. Uh, I'll get to my final thoughts like towards the end, but
Hmm.
uh, yeah, let's talk about the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run.
Yeah, okay. We went on this twice. We got the same position both times. But here's the way it works. You enter in, like any other ride. The queue is actually pretty cool. You walk
Smells like
around.
gasoline. I love it.
Yeah, you walk around the Millennium Falcon. You walk into the workshop area where it smells of gasoline and ozone, and you make your way through the facility. You hear the radio chatter of like one of his employees being like, I opened up one of the crates and it's supposed to be like lithium, but that's not lithium in there. That looks like blasters, which I think are contraband. It's like,
Yeah, just
it's
like
a,
listen around because there's some like hilarious lines just kind of as you're waiting through the queue, and I'm like,
yeah.
I don't mind waiting a little longer just so I can like hear all the dialogue because we went during a time when there was like not a lot of people. There wasn't like a lot of people waiting in line. We just kind of just walked in, and by the time we walked in, we already were already at the spiel by
Hmm.
Hondo, and that animatronic is sick.
It is very well done, much like Rocket Raccoon Galaxy's Edge, in Galaxy's Tower.
Galaxy Star.
They're Guardians of the Galaxy Tower of Terror. That's where they have the rockets, and the rockets is like, yeah, hearing that spiel over and over again on a loop was a good motivator for me to actually solve this problem.
What I really liked about just seeing Hondo in person is like, yeah, you're taking a character that's existed both in animated form in Clone Wars and in Rebels, and you're seeing what they would look like in real life. And
That
they also
dude is.
aged up him too. So I
Mhm.
really like just how you took this character that was originally like a cartoon character and you just brought him to life.
Yeah, Hondo is apparently from a very long-lived alien race because he's been at this for a
He's been
long time,
around.
and
I also like his like three-eyed like astromech. I forgot what his name was, but I'm like,
yeah,
I like that astromech. It's pretty
yeah, we're
cool.
just
It's
arguing with
three
him.
eyes.
I also liked on the entrance. They had a cast member out there. At least one of the times we went in, going like, who, was it Onaka Transports is looking for new people. They're a completely 100% legitimate business. I was like, that's pretty clever there.
So basically, you're DoorDash for Hondo.
Yeah, it's essentially what you're being hired for. But yeah, he'll give his spiel, and the general premise is Chewbacca is allowing Hondo to use the Millennium Falcon to do this run to basically steal a bunch of supplies from the First Order. And in exchange, the Resistance gets supplies, and Hondo, of course, gets his monies. So you go through, and then you basically enter into the Falcon, and you're kind of in that game room area. So that they have the hollow chess table, or whatever they actually call it. I think it's called hollow chess.
You also have the makeout zone.
Yeah, you have the makeout zone from Empire Strikes Back and whatever. It's all kind of there, and various groups are just kind of hanging out there until they call you. They give you a little card thing as you enter, so you'll be like blue group or red group or whatever, and each person gets an assignment on theirs.
Here's the thing about being a party of two. Chances are, if you're a party of two and you're being called to the front of the line, you'll be engineers to fill in for a party of four
Yeah,
because these uh,
they hand them
they
out.
seat six people.
Yeah,
So do the math. You have a party of four, and they're calling for a party of two. It's like, oh hey, engineers, and engineers are usually the last people sitting in the back.
because the front row people are the pilots, the middle people are the gunners, the back are the engineers. So if you're a party of two, you're almost always going to be engineers, which isn't that bad. I actually like the engineer game.
I actually didn't mind either. Like, I really wanted to play pilot, but then again, I just realized when I was playing as engineers, like so much pressure and so much expectation is put on the pilot.
Yeah, the pilots will basically be determiners of your score, which is highly annoying. We'll get to that in a second. Not that the score means anything, but we'll get to it. So after you get called, you go down another hallway, and then you enter into the cockpit. Uh, the first group we were with this was not their first time through, and they were having a lot of fun, and they were role playing, like yelling like to the left, come on, let's do this. Woo!
Yeah, they were fun, and I was also yelling things like from the bags, like use the force.
Yeah, so we got into it with them, and it was a lot of fun. Our second group,
it's like
the only people yelling
tourists, like from the Midwest.
Yeah, they weren't
kind of like an older baby boomer group.
They weren't super into like getting hype about things. So like when you succeed or you escape, they're
not
just
like kind of like
just
going through the motions.
Just go through the motions, like okay, let's see what this Millennium Falcon thing's about. And that wasn't quite as fun, even though we had to yell during.
We had a higher score though.
Well, no,
right?
we didn't.
Right? No.
We had higher completion percentages.
This is true.
But we didn't have a higher score because of all the damage to the ship. We lost most of the money. So I actually made more money on my first run than I did on my second run, even though my completion percentage was better on my second run than my first run. So let's get to this. Here's how everything essentially works for those of you wondering, because there is no strategy guide, which is super annoying to me. So for pilots, one pilot does the up and down, one does the left and right, which means you guys have to have good communication and know what your position is and what you're doing, because otherwise you're going to crash into everything. Just ask the baby boomer group who ruined the score. We are scored as a team, by the way. So whoever your people is with the best manual dexterity really should do that job. And even though it sounds really cool to be the pilot, plus you could hit the hyperdrive button, which is pretty sweet. Don't do this unless you think you can actually do it well, because you're just going to annoy everyone else on the ship.
If you played flight simulators, this should be a walk in the park.
But bear in mind, it's two different people controlling the controls, which means pilot and co-pilot need to communicate. You have to talk to the person you're sitting next to. Even if you don't like them, do it. This will determine a lot of stuff. One, how well you do on stealing the supplies. Two, how much money you make at the end based on the amount of damage to the ship, because you will get way more damage from crashing into stuff than you will from being shot at. We'll get to that in a second. The gunners are basically, it's not what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be, holding a turret, shooting like, Han Solo and Luke while escaping the Death Star. I wanted the whole, like, I got one, and then yell, good shooting, kid, don't get cocky. Pew, 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 and then go, yeah, when I blow up something else. You don't really get that. Basically, your thing lights up and you tap a button, and then you can hit another button to fire off the missiles at the end. So it's probably the easiest of all the jobs, because it's basically, you're going to hit one of two buttons, and you just got to hit them at the right time. Not that hard. It is the easiest job on the ship, and in my opinion, probably the most boring. Engineer is very exciting. So engineer, you'll basically get a whole panel of buttons and a few switches, and when something happens to the ship, various lights will light up, and you immediately tap those. Or flip the required switch. Be quick on this. You can get a pretty high completion rating on it, which basically means the shields go up faster, or the engine, if it gets damaged, or anything like that. Whatever's damage has happened will be solved faster, and thus giving you, ideally, a better score. So gunners need to be, quick in order to get a good score. Pilots need to be accurate to be a good score, and engineers need to be quick to do a good score. When you get to a certain point, you will have a second opportunity. The first opportunity to steal supplies is almost like given to you, and it's very easy to do it. It's essentially a tutorial round. Something will happen. I don't want to spoil everything, and then you'll get a second shot at grabbing supplies. This is where the pilots need to aim properly to fire off the harpoons to steal the supply crate. To do that, the engineers will have a screen showing where they are on their accuracy. Engineers need to yell left, right, up, down, whatever you need to tell them in order to get it properly lined up so you can hit the harpoons to get the second stash. If you get the second stash, your overall score will increase significantly. Our first time through, we didn't get the first stash, although I didn't know what to expect. So instead of yelling left or right or whatever, I was just kind of like, oh, come on, come on, come on. Like, I wasn't as into it as I was with everything else, like yelling shields up or whatever, when I actually flipped the switches and I saw the Falcon and the little circle went around the Falcon. I'm like, shields up. I didn't yell out the commands for the aiming for that, which was kind of my mistake. And then I did yell during the second one, and we actually did get it, which was good, except for we took so much freaking damage that we ended up losing most of the money. Your score is more of an ego thing, and even though they did the big talk of like, oh, characters in the park will know that you succeeded or failed, too many people.
I'm glad they got rid of it.
They got rid of that because for exactly why I know they did, which was logistically, it's damn near impossible. Having a cast member memorize the face of every single person who went through the Millennium Falcon is going to be impossible. And to do that every single day is just going to give them panic attacks. So, yeah. Now, with the animatronics, as advanced as Hondo is, these aren't like Universal Studios level. Any ones I saw were very much in the background, just there to be an alien in the background. So don't go expecting, how the Transformers behave.
To like interact with Doc Ondor because he's just doing his thing.
Yeah. This isn't like interacting with the Transformers or like that great video, which you can find on this. This is on Eat the Magic. Yeah. On the Eat the Magic channel, there's a video of me getting the secret recipe for the secret recipe noodles from Ping from Kung Fu Panda. And it is a very great video showing just how amazing the animatronics are at Universal Studios. So they're not at that level. So the programming all that would just be a logistics nightmare. So they don't do that. Instead, what you'll get is you'll get Hondo popping up on the screen going like, all right, we got the supplies. And okay. And he says whatever his name of his droid is. And it's like, okay, that's damaged. Okay. And so for like on our heavy damage one, he's like, the life support. Ooh, that's bad. You know what? Just give me the list of things that aren't damaged and we'll fix the rest. And I just literally see the money number just going, just dropping. And I'm like, ugh. And then
Otherwise, it's a really fun ride.
yeah, so you get the little things of what Honda will say after the ride will change depending on how successful you were. If you got both supply crates, if you did a lot of damage or little damage, all that stuff will kind of change the little video reaction you get. And that's basically all you get. However, when we had the heavy damage on the ship and we were leaving, I could hear one of his employees doing the whole like, "There's how much damage to the Falcon? Okay, someone distract the Wookiee while we get things fixed. Otherwise, this will probably end badly." And I was like, okay, that's pretty funny having hearing that as you're getting the exit cue of his staff like stressing over the condition of the Falcon. And I didn't hear that the first time because we got very little damage the first time, but we just didn't get the first crates. We actually made more money because the damage will eat your score so fast. But that's it. And there's really no position that feels like a bad or bummer position. I think the gunner isn't quite as exciting as it could be, but you know, it is a lot of fun. Feels like you're part of the adventure, and the queue is so well themed. Um,
And it's also
it's a lot
nice
of fun.
seeing the Millennium Falcon, the one that's parked outside, the one that's a 1-to-1 scale. Just seeing like all the details and intricacies just kind of constructed on it.
Hmm.
What it just reminds me because we watch a lot of old school anime. It reminds me of like a lot of the anime that came out of like the 70s, inspired by Star Wars, and just seeing all that like engineering kind of detail to
The
it.
space opera stuff, yeah.
Yes. And it's like, oh, just seeing like just all this stuff in just in person, like this is my childhood. This is what I grew up on.
Hmm. So it's really good. I'm kind of expecting good things from the Rise of the Resistance ride when it's eventually available at the end of the year.
We still don't we know, but we don't know a lot. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure we'll get more announcements on that at D23. Although there are rumors that Rise of the Resistance might open up first in Florida when the park opens up.
Which
Eh,
seems weird to me.
I don't know. I think they're gonna just wait till episode
I
9.
think they'd be smart to just make it a simultaneous opening for that ride. And just yeah, open it in November or October or something like that. Get people hyped for episode 9. But the theming and stuff, the ride itself is significantly better than I thought it was. And yes, randos can screw up your score, but that's as far as it's ever going to go. I don't think you can actually like crash and like fail and like then oh well, there's your 2 minutes of the ride, or 2 minutes. There's your 20 seconds of the ride. They immediately died. You can't do that. You can't fail like that. Like the Falcon cannot be blowed up, but your score will just be bad. Hondo will make comments about the amount of damage or whatever, and probably be a bit frustrated. Although he always takes his cut first, so regardless of how well you succeed or fail, you're still going to lose a chunk of money because Hondo wants his payment first. After all, it is his company. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're glad that we got on it twice. I think as of Monday, you'll be lucky to get on it once because I'm sure that'll be a line going well out the door. And I don't know when they're going to have the fast pass kiosk ready. It wasn't ready for us. I don't know if it's going to be opening on Monday or what.
There's also the single rider option. So if you don't mind splitting up the party, you can also go for single rider.
Yeah, and again, like I said, as a duo, it worked out really well for us because there's a lot of parties of 4 or parties of 3, but there's not that many parties of 6 running around. There may have been some parties of 5. I never saw parties that large, but I'm sure they existed. So as a single rider or as a duo, you'll be fine. Anything bigger than that, you may have to wait a bit longer because they have to fill in all 6 seats for the 4 different units they have, or 6 different units.
I forgot like how many units
They only have a handful of
count.
units, and there's only 6 people per unit. So, I smaller parties is your better choice if you want to get on faster. But you still need to get to the Hondo briefing sequence, so just bear that in mind.
I do like how you can just chill like in the Millennium Falcon like lounge area right before you go on, just take some selfies there. But that hologram table is gonna be like really popular.
Mm-hmm.
We were lucky to just get like one photo there.
Yeah. I also kind of wish the seat for that wasn't a hard seat. It's a hard seat. It looks like it shouldn't be. It's one of those like looks like
It's like one of those Toontown effects.
Toontown things, yeah, where it looks like it's soft, and you sit down like, wow, that is. I may as well just be sitting on a box of rocks. Yay!
Speaking of sitting, let's talk about food.
Yeah, there's almost no sitting zones for food, so I hope you like standing and eating.
Well, you have your videos for.
All running on us. Oh, yay!
Well, you have your videos for the blue and green milk, so you can like check those out on the channel. And we also have the video for the Ronto wrap. Eventually, I know you mentioned that you wanted to do breakfast at Galaxy's Edge because there's actually some pretty good breakfast treats
Yeah,
at Uga's Cantina and over at
Ronto
Ronto
Roasters are the
Roasters.
2 places you get some breakfast.
I really
stuff.
like the theming for Ronto Roasters.
I did too. It's kind of cool. You see the droid. He kind of mumbles to himself. He's cooking some
It's
meat on a broken down pod racer engine, which is pretty cool. And the line for that wasn't too long because
And you
it's
can also do mobile
basically
order.
meat wrap or vegetable wrap. Those are your 2 options.
It's like meat wrap or turkey, jerky or something.
I thought they had a vegetable option.
I don't remember. I just remember just seeing just 2 options. There was like it was like jerky, turkey, or whatever, and then just
because I think when we read the thing online, they said that there's a vegetable option. So maybe there's 3 things on, but there's very few options there. So you're not having the I want the like you're not gonna get that. Your options are: do you want?
It's pretty quick wrap and go.
Yeah. Do you want pork? Do you want pork, turkey, or do you want vegetable? Because I'm fairly certain there is a vegetable option. They usually have that. The milk stand is also relatively quick because your options are one color or the other color.
And you could also get a swirl.
Oh, you can get a swirl?
Yeah, you can get a swirl.
I need to go and do that.
Yeah, we need to go and do that and just grab the swirl. But chances are I'm probably going to grab the swirl and then like another thing of blue milk because I really like the blue milk.
Blue milk is the best.
I know everyone, there's a divide on like the milk stand within theme park fandom, but I like the blue milk.
People are the green are wrong. That tastes terrible. Anyone who likes that is wrong.
I like the green milk, but if I had a preference, I'd just go with the blue milk.
Yeah. Watch my video. You'll get more of like what I'm talking about. So I do like both those locations. I am not fond of Crate and Barrel or whatever the hell it's called, the other food place.
Docking Bay 7?
That one. For a couple of reasons. One, my dislike for the cafeteria style places at Disneyland is, I think, fairly well known. I think I've made comment about it on enough videos already. I do review food from those locations, but they are my least favorite locations. I hate that. It just brings up memories of being in like elementary school and junior high and feeling completely miserable whenever actually only elementary school is the only time I actually did the cafeteria line. It made me feel so miserable. It was like the worst. And so all it is just these flashbacks of one of the worst meals, some of the worst meals of my life, even though the food is usually pretty good. Also,
it's like you would prefer like just a table service.
Yeah. Or I'm fine with like, say it like Flo's and it's the same way at Red Rose Tavern and stuff like that, where you order at one place, you walk up to the counter, you get your food, and then you go to your seat. I'm fine with that. I don't like the big, long troughs of food. Fine if you're at a buffet, that's fine. I have no issue with a buffet. I have an issue when it's just the whole, here's the plate we made, and you just grab whatever plate you want. I don't like it. So my other issue with that restaurant, of course, is that most of the food there is freaking mundane. It's stuff like pot roast and, veggie platters and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is all great. This feels so mundane for Star Wars land. You can call a veggie platter a super dooba dooba doop, but it don't matter because it's friggin' veggie platter. And it's no different. Versus like at least at the cantina, they have, what do they call it? Batuu bits or something like that, which is like a little tray of various little meats and cheeses and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay,
I'd be down for that.
That's kind of clever. It's like meat, cheeses, and
like
crackers.
An $8 side dish type thing.
Yeah, basically it's just kind of like
beer nuts.
Beer nuts, yeah. And I'm like, that's fine. That works good because it's probably its own little unique mix of whatever they decide to throw in there, and it doesn't feel quite as mundane as ordering a freaking pot roast. I love pot roast. The best pot roast belongs to Knott's Berry Farm. For anyone who's going to do the theme park pot roast challenge, that's the best one. But it just irritates me. And the other thing that irritates me is that they have black bean hummus for kids. Except for hummus is not made of black beans. Hummus is made of chickpeas. Do you know what's made of mashed up black beans? Mexican refried beans. Call it that, or call it bean mash, but don't call it something it's not. That's like saying, hey, I made trout almondine, but instead of using an almond sauce, I use strawberries. Well, then it's not trout almondine. Almondine implies the almond sauce, not strawberry sauce. It would be trout strawberry saucy.
Are you disappointed that they don't have fried pork?
Very. Where's my pork burgers? Where's my
If you just get like a pork leg.
Where's my pork leg? Yeah.
or
So
pork wings,
now they do have a unique.
fried pork and
They have a
shrimp.
popcorn thing there. I think that has like unique
Yeah, it's unique flavors, so we didn't try it, but
flavors,
they also come
and
in a
they have
specialty popcorn bucket, which is say shaped like a mouse droid.
and they also have a specialty churro there as well, which I think is called a space churro.
I don't think they have churros there.
Star
They don't
churros.
have churros there, Jared. It's just the
Oh,
popcorn.
I thought they had a churro.
No, they don't have
Huh.
thematic churros.
Never mind. I thought I heard that. My bad.
Nope.
So food wise, it's still pretty good. Like I said, I have my frustrations with Docking Bay 45, but everything else is pretty good. And come on, Cantina, like
Please let us in.
let us in and know the supply and demand thing here, because if you're going to run out halfway through the day, then yeah, I'd rather just go to well, okay, in general, I'd still prefer just going to Lamplight.
Which we'll probably make frequent visits to because we're deluxe pass holders this
Yeah.
summer.
And I would recommend that if you want to get your booze on and you want to get a fancy mixed drink, I would so go to Lamplight instead of Uga's Cantina. I'm sure it's fine. You could hear the music. You could hear Rex talking every once in a while. And occasionally they played like Galaxy News Radio or whatever their equivalent is in Star
They
Wars.
played like Galaxy's News Radio outside of Ronto Raps, and we were just kind of like just listening to that as we were like just nomming. They were talking about like galactic chess, and I thought it was pretty funny too. Just kind of like just listening to just kind of like the sounds of it, and I also like the ambience of the area. So when you go further into the Resistance Zone, you just kind of hear like TIE fighters and X-wings like overhead,
and you can hear the more of the Williams score that he wrote for this, because I think this is the last Star Warsy thing he wrote.
Latest Star Wars thing he wrote, because I know he didn't write music for the current movies.
Well, no, he did 9, but I think he already did the music for 9 before he did this, or maybe I'm wrong. But either way, this is one of the last Star Wars compositions by John Williams. So it is kind of cool to hear that stuff. Thematically, it's nice. I like the forested area. It really frustrates me that no one did photos, but after going there, I'm like, there's nothing to photo here.
But we kind of did photos there. We did the photo pass.
Yeah, we did photo pass for the X-Wing and what have you. But what I mean is when you see everyone doing their posts or videos about Galaxy's Edge, it's all that city zone and not the exterior zone, which I get it. That's where all the stuff is. It just feels like the Resistance area is very sparse and not a lot to do there. Not a huge reason to go there unless you need like an X-Wing picture or to buy an X-Wing model kit or
to find for Chewbacca.
Or find Chewbacca.
It was funny because I was talking about like that plot point in Legends where a moon fell on Chewbacca. I was like, hey Chewbacca, how'd you feel about that time that moon fell on you? Just like turn around and just gave me a grunt.
Yeah. Which means the person in there probably knows what we were referencing.
And then,
but look, there's a way you're gonna die.
I think there's gonna be more life in that zone once Rise of Resistance opens up. Because we did see like they did like have the entrance to Q already there, and they had like cast members just kind of just chilling out there.
I also liked that Chewbacca themed satchel. I kind of wanted that, but I need to make sure it can fit my laptop, because if it can't fit my laptop, then I don't have a point for it.
Well, next time let's take the dimensions of your laptop and I'll bring my measuring tape.
Yeah. We'll worry about that when we get to go to the park again in like
August, September.
Yeah. So definitely the merch, I think, is what they did best here, because like the plushes are really well done. The holocrons are well done. Both the thematic to their side stuff was pretty good. It's just, look, most people are going to want to have Rebellion or Empire stuff. It's just what everyone likes. It's what everyone thinks of when you think of Star Wars.
I think I'd been a lot more hyped and a lot more OMG if this was set during the original trilogy.
I also would be pretty hyped if this was set during Clone Wars. I understand the logistics of having all the droids walking around would be very difficult. I understand that. It would be so cool.
I mean, it's not to say that I didn't enjoy it. I still enjoyed Galaxy's Edge for what it was, but Star Wars fangirl in me, how old was I? Like 8-year-old me watching the Muppet Babies and like that episode of the Muppet Babies.
Great.
And me just like being super hyped, just watching. I know like people rat on the special editions, but that was like my first time seeing Star Wars in theaters, and I was like really hyped as a kid. And then I'm like, that part of me would have been like, OMG, like this is awesome if it was set during original trilogy, because I remember it was you who said, because there was like this book in the Legends time period that had a picture of Darth Vader, but Vader is nowhere in the novel.
Yeah, that's several books have that, but the one that always comes to my mind that drove me crazy was the first book in the Bounty Hunter Wars, has Darth Vader and Boba Fett on the cover. It is about Boba Fett. It is not about Darth Vader.
The reason for that being is as long as you slap Darth Vader on there, it will sell.
Yeah, Darth Vader boosts sales significantly. So a lot of novels, even if Darth Vader wasn't involved, but it was still occurring during the Galactic Civil War time period, it was just, boom, there's Vader in the background, like holding his lightsaber or just looking intimidating because people go, ooh, Vader. I know Vader. Bye. And the thing I've been saying, on most of our streams, and I stand by it, after episode 9, and it'll do well. It's a main episode Star Wars, but you can tell the fandom things have changed with the fandom. Even defenders of the new stuff are kind of quieting down quite a bit.
And I have
You can
reasons
only
why I've
read,
just been gravitating away from the fandom because it's just getting too ugly, and I
yeah,
just don't want to like claim a side or anything because I just have my opinions, and that's it. And neither of them fit into a quote unquote side.
yeah. Again, like I like Solo, and that's supposed to be blasphemy. So, but I didn't see it in theaters though because I didn't have enough faith it'd be a good enough movie. And watching it, I'm like, yeah, if I saw some theaters, I'd be adequately satisfied. But seeing it on Netflix was a bit better in my opinion. It felt like it was Netflix quality. So, ooh, yeah, I went there.
And then again, I've also mentioned that, like I'd like to see the Solo story more as like a 5-part like Netflix series.
Yeah, it made a cool. Look, if they had just done an outright comic series of it, it probably would have recommended it, assuming the writer was Charles Soule or something. No, Charles Soule. Charles Soule sucks. Shoot, Greg Rucka. If it was Greg Rucka or something writing it, I think I'd be down with that. But my theory has been that I don't think episode 9 is going to turn us all around and make us go, oh my God, I want to read all these terribly written novels now because I'm so hype about this series. And the sad part is the best written novels are the ones that never get any kind of press or anyone talking about them. And it's all the crap ones by Chuck Wendig and Claudia Gray that seem to get everyone like, moist in the nethers. And I'm like, these books are terrible. And the fact that you defend them is a sign of you having zero taste or zero ability to understand what quality storytelling is. And I think there's enough people. You can only read so many bad books. The comics started to go downhill. Oh man, look at all those amazing Star Wars video games we don't have. To just basically lose their faith in this time period. And heck, the next Star Wars game that's coming out is about the beginnings of the Empire. So, and it features Saw Gerrera, which is sweet. So down. I just hope the game doesn't cost a lot and then it's like, a 10-hour game because that would annoy me. But it's EA, so I'm assuming it'll be full $60 and it'll be a 5-hour experience and then I'll be really pissed off. But my theory has been standing that by 2021, they're just going to swap it to Empire versus Rebellion in order to A, renew interest in it, and B, because they know the merch will disappear immediately.
Because I don't know about you, I want to get a photo op with Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia.
And on the Empire side, Vader is always cool. Thrawn would be amazing. We need a Thrawn face character.
Oh my God,
so
yes.
Bad.
If you like, I don't know, if you like just find a way to like just tie it in with like Rebels when Thrawn was like just doing his thing.
If only there was a book where Thrawn was on Batuu.
Yes, that's right. Thrawn Alliances that actually takes place on Batuu during both the beginnings of Galactic Civil War and also during the Clone Wars because Padme is also on Batuu as well.
So doing that time period, I think would be pretty cool. And you could even make some new Imperial commander or whatever he's there. You could make it Moff so and such. Who cares? But you could do stuff like that, build its own little story. And for the Falcon ride might be the only thing that'd be changed. But I think the only difference is you could change one line of dialogue and be fine. It's like, yes. Han will not know that we are doing this, Chewie. This is between you and me and the Resistance. And you'd be fine. Or you could replace Hondo with Han Solo saying like, look, I'm only doing this because Jabba's sent bounty hunters after me, so I need someone else to pilot the ship. Just bring the Falcon back in one piece. You could find a way to alter the ride and make it work. I know it'd be a pain in the ass, but they have 2 years to do this, so it's fine.
Also, what I was about to say again, because I'm also wondering, just tying into, because you know how like Disney likes to do like holiday overlays.
Mm-hmm.
What if like for like the Christmas holiday season they like do like a holiday like Life Day overlay?
I would love a Life Day overlay.
So like all the Batuian citizens are like Happy Life Day instead of Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays.
I would love that. That would make me very happy. If they can play the Carrie Fisher is clearly high song, that would be great. So I know there's fun things they can do with this land.
Or like set like foresty, woodsy area. You can do like um in Epcot they call it the International Food and Wine Festival, Galactic Food Festival. Foods
Yeah,
from like all over the galaxy.
you want Corellian fried shrimp? Oh, we got it. Like, what makes it Corellian fried? We fry it in lard. That's what you're supposed to fry it in.
Also, something that we forgot to mention, but I really do respect and admire like the PhotoPass people
Mm,
because we ended up getting like one of the magic shots of like the pork of me holding a pork right outside the X-wing. So shout out to you, Lance. Also, shout out to Adam who got some photos of us right by the droids, and then we also got some photos right by the docking bay 7 with the it has a cargo that has like the years of Star Wars, so 77,
mhm.
80, and 83. Am I correct?
Yes.
Outside of that, so we also got some night shots outside of Millennium Falcon and daytime shots outside of Millennium Falcon. And by the way, we need to smugglers run during depending on the time of day. Like you could be leaving, you can see Batuu by night or Batuu by day. And because we went
Which
during the PM hours,
mhm.
we actually did see the night scenes because in a lot of the previews and a lot of the ride videos I've seen, like
They show the
it's
day stuff.
daytime, but
Yeah.
like this is like the first time I'm seeing it in nighttime, which is actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's well done that they actually shifted it so that it stays in with what the current weather is like, or well, day night. I don't think it's set up for clouds or whatever if it's raining, but still kind of nice that they did this stuff. Like, there was a lot of effort put into this, and even though I'm as I told multiple people when they asked me about it, I said I am very whelmed. I was not overwhelmed. I was not underwhelmed. Just whelmed. And I stand by that one. And I'm not using this as a whole, oh, this park is the worst and blah blah. No, it's fine.
It's good. It's also worth checking out. Even my mom was asking me hey, how's Galaxy's Edge? Like, it's a lot of fun. I saw your photos. It doesn't look like it's very crowded. I like the photo pass people because they angle you in such a way where it doesn't look like it's crowded.
Hmm. But I might change as soon as it's properly open. More the point of they just know position they can put you in that won't look like that. But yeah, there's photo pass zones by the X-wing, by Kylo Ren's transport, by the Millennium Falcon, and there's might be one or two others that I'm not
It's one
thinking of.
outside the marketplace.
Marketplace and stuff like that. So they have their people around. So if you want your photos and stuff, especially if you're a photo pass person, you get some great options. And the people are kind of fun, and they'll play with you. And especially if you respond to them, as if you're a proper space tourist or a spy or whatever, they will respond back, which I do very much appreciate. I do feel sorry for the staff that just feels like they're so put upon, and I don't think the full opening of this is going to help with that until word gets around enough, or they have ways of informing people before they enter the land about the role play elements so that they don't have to deal with those kind of questions. But look,
Especially if like you're an international tourist
yeah, they're
who
not going to
might
get
not
it at
know, it's
all.
like, yeah, where's the bathroom? And then the cast member has to answer in character and like, what's a refresher?
Uh, the other thing on that one that I was just thinking of is also the point that oh shit, my brain just went blank. Uh, Whatever. If I don't remember it, it's not important. But I very much feel sorry for the cast members. I hope things shift to make their job a bit easier. And while I don't sound like I'm being super excited and promoting of the park, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just you go in there with tempered expectations. The ride's fun. The food's pretty good. I do recommend the blue milk, but you can try the green if you like stuff that doesn't taste good. And the merch is really high quality. It's just not super exciting seeing stuff
Just expect
from
Disney prices.
oh yeah, but you're gonna get that regardless in the park. And I would like to say that for all the people who post their videos like, oh my god, the drinks cost how much? I'm like, yeah,
It's Disney.
that's what they cost at Disneyland. Have you not been to Disneyland? You not a churro is like $5. I mean, like what? Yeah, there's a Disney premium. Deal with it. But it's kind of the way to on most theme parks actually come to think of it. But Disney markup tends to be a bit steep for some people, so also be aware of that. Um, the one thing that I also compared the park to because I have to is Wizarding World, and Wizarding World is so much better, but not for the reasons you might expect. It's better because it's all the locations from the movie and the books. I get to see the Hogwarts Express. I get to see Ollivanders. I get to see the Leaky Cauldron. I get to see that candy shop whose name I forgot right off the top of my head. I get to see Hogwarts Castle. All these are locations I know from the books and the movies. On Batuu, I get to see
Millennium Falcon.
Millennium Falcon.
The innards of the Millennium Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
Get to see a replica of Luke's land speeder.
Oh yeah, they do have one of those
And
cornered off as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like kind of at this like grease monkey place.
Yeah, it's just like kind of in the background there. So versus if this was in like say Mos Eisley, at least we know the Mos Eisley Cantina. We know the architecture of Mos Eisley. You get
My brother was asking if they had the alien band. I'm playing there. It's like, nah.
Yeah, I was making a comment that I thought that's what they should have gone with as well.
I'm more of a Max Rebo person, but that's just
Fine.
me.
Or even if you wanted to go, and I know people might get upset, but like Mos Espa, because we did get to see more of Mos Espa than we did Mos Eisley. And in Mos Espa, you could have had Watto's shop, you could have Anakin's house, be just like going into Mickey's house, but slaves. You could have like pod race like ride. That'd be freaking awesome. Think test track, but you're in a pod racer. That would be amazing. I mean, granted, you can kind of experience that with Star Tours now, but what I'm saying is that if it's in a location that I was more familiar with, I'd be more hyped about it. Being on a random planet that I have to either read a book that Timothy Zahn had to do via obligation, or read comics that I don't quite know what the quality level will be, but considering how downhill the comics have gone when I quit reading, I don't have a lot of faith in it. And I think there might be some other Batuu related book for kids. And I don't want to read all that garbage to get the backstory for a land because it's not going to be the same as Diagon Alley or Hogsmeade, because those locations are established in 7 different books, 8 different movies, and there's part of that there that makes it feel more real, for lack of a better word, versus this land just felt like I was in a thematic Star Wars theme park. And because, there's no real cosplay stuff you can do there, which is a Disneyland thing in general.
Yeah, but you can bound.
You can bound, and that's fine. And if I went with a group of my friends from high school, we were super crazy nerds. We saw Phantom Menace opening week, and the only reason we need to go on opening day, which we were planning on ditching school to do that, I had an AP test, and I believe one of the other people in my group had an AP test. So yeah, that didn't quite work out as well as we'd hoped. We kind of wanted to pass our AP exams rather than go see a movie on opening day. But we were planning on ditching until it overlapped with important school stuff. And that's the kind of people we were. We would have all bounded. We all would have made up some sort of thing like, oh, we're a group of bounty hunters, or we're a group of spies or whatever. And then I would explain, guys, bounty hunters usually don't work in a team, nor do spies. This is completely ridiculous. We should all be different jobs. We should be like an RPG party. You could be the bounty hunter, you're the spy, you're the medic, and I'm the Jedi.
If Andrew and I were Andrew's my younger brother, if we were to go, his favorite character growing up, and the character that he would always role play as was Lando.
Nice.
And I'd probably I was usually what was I?
Well, Lando and Mara became spies for a while in the Legends continuity.
This is true, because I think I would just go between either Mon Mothma, which is pretty much plays a dungeon master role with my friends.
Your team mom.
Team mom, and also just since people also I get to create the tone of the missions.
Man, it was so cool when she was like this benevolent leader and a wise person, instead of being a coward who then hindered the rebellion on numerous occasions. Thanks, Disney canon, for ruining a really great character. So we create new characters that have no personality, and all the characters who had personalities get flushed down the toilet. So I lose Akbar, and Mon Mothma becomes terrible at her job. Leia becomes a horrible mother. God, I hate the Disney continuity so bad. Oh, just go
read some Timothy Zahn novels.
And go read the New Jedi Order and finish the later books in that one and find out how the Yusak Von War ends. Damn it. I'm depressed now. God, I hope there's a beer on my desk. Oh, wait, there totally is.
There's like 2 beers on your desk.
2 beers on my desk.
I'm just going to have some lemonade. Because when the family was you lemons, lemonade.
Like I said, you can make your own fun here, and that's kind of what you need to do.
That's like my favorite part of it. It's like, yes, I get to kind of semi-role play as Mara Jade and just tell everyone yeah. Just looking for Luke Skywalker. He ruined my life.
Yeah, except for the time period's completely wrong on that one.
That's true.
I tried to play like the Jedi-ish version of Coran Horn, who still would be going off on missions like this because that's what he did during.
And I was just playing Hand of Emperor Mara.
Yeah, so we were both Legends characters, both playing completely different time periods. I think in 2020, when this section of the park isn't quite as insane as it's going to be for the rest of this year, and depending on how episode 9 turns out, it might hinder some of the popularity of this area of the land. I think that'd be the best time to go when there's not as many crowds and you really can.
And plus, you have both attractions open.
And you can play a bounty hunter, a spy, a soldier, a medic, whatever your character you want to make as a merchant, and go in there and play that up, saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm here to pick up supplies to take back to my home base on Bespin. I run a shop there. I'm just trying to find some good stuff. Do you know a great place where I can find some good deals on supplies I can bring back to Bespin?" And they go like, "Oh yeah, you can go to such and such's. That's a great place to find." Or what are you looking for? Are you looking for animals? Because the creature rescue is over there. But if you're looking for more like souvenirs from this area, then you can always go over to the ABC store over there, or you can go to that one over there, which has toys if you're opening a toy shop. And, they could play along with you and they won't be as stressed and things will be a lot of fun. And I'd really recommend that. I think you can have a lot of fun doing stuff like that. I think you won't be able to do that until about May 2020. And I think it'll be calmed down enough by then. I don't think this is going to be one of those. The randos are not going to repeat business here, I think, until Rise of the Resistance opens. Then they might come back. But for the most part, once you've hit the Millennium Falcon, hit a couple of the restaurants, looked at the shops, there really isn't a lot to do there, which is another reason why it's very whelming. Versus, I know someone could say, "Oh, but West Coast Harry Potter Land has 2 rides." Like, this is true, but you can go into Ollivanders and actually watch the show. You don't have to buy a wand to watch the show. The shops
you do all the wand dealies around.
There's some great photo op locations. You have the wand dealies you can do, and if you didn't do them all your first time through, that's a good excuse for a second walkthrough. And you can walk around in your robes or your house colors or whatever your choice of walk around option is. Well, I meant in terms of what kind of Harry Potter character you want to look like and which era of Harry Potter you want to go from. So there's a lot more variety, versatility, and fun you can have there versus, no costumes. 1 ride right now, 2 rides later this year, handful of restaurants, a handful of shops that you could basically, if you're not even going to go on the rides, you can grab yourself a blue milk and go through all the restaurants and all the shops in less than an hour. And then you could just go on Matterhorn like everyone else wants to.
All right, I guess that just kind of just wraps it up because we're both running out of time for our live stream.
Yeah.
We're also kind of running a bit out of battery on my MacBook.
Yeah.
And it's also overheating the blanket.
And it's like, late.
Ish. Well, we're adults. We have lives. We have 9 to 5 jobs.
It's almost as if we have work tomorrow.
I know, right? And it's Sunday. And Batuu opens up tomorrow to the general public.
So if you're planning on going, well, hope we've given you some advice and that'll help you out. If you're not planning on going, well, now you have a way better view than, oh my God, the Star Wars. I love the Star Wars. Porgs and Kylo Rens. Oh my gosh, so cool. Like, we are not those people. I may have been that person when I was like 16, but I am not that person now. And I think even at 16, I'd be like, man, I want to meet Thrawn and Mara Jade. I want to hang out with Rogue Squadron and
I miss Rogue Squadron so much.
That's why I cosplayed from them.
Don't you mean Bound?
Or Bounded. I would totally do Coran Horn as a cosplay. I'd be so down with that.
I think my next Bound for Galaxy's Edge would probably be Wedge Antilles.
Then I'll go as Biggs Darklighter.
Excellent.
Miss you, bro. I'll pour one out for you into my stomach. That's how Biggs would have wanted it.
Just get you like a Biggs kind of Bound and just kind of like just have you just carry all the food.
Yeah. Also, if you ever want to kind of see like an interesting little segment of Star Wars history, if you can find the deleted scene of Luke meeting Biggs as he's about to fly off to
Bless you.
Because in episode 4, there's originally a scene where Luke says bye to Biggs before he heads back to the Lars farm. And And it kind of pays off because then he sees Biggs again at the base, and he's like, "Biggs, Luke," and he's like, but you get enough of like they were friends clearly, but it's kind of a cool scene because Biggs is just sitting there. There's like four women around him, like he's like bragging about how like awesome of a pilot he is.
Oh, I was confusing Biggs for Porkins. My bad.
They're both bigger dudes, but yeah, Porkins is the fat is the obese man, and then Biggs is just like a Biggs is more
Because there's this
stout.
meme that's going around of Porkins just kind of like just carrying like a big gulp, like while he's in his X-wing.
That's awesome.
That's why I made the carry around the food joke. Like,
Hmm.
yeah,
I'm fine either way, but something like that we can figure it out. Technically, it goes Kronhorn again if you want to go as
because I have my X-wing
Liberation.
Academy
Yeah,
pin somewhere.
Liberation of Coruscant era. So because that's where he was
All
introduced.
right, that wraps it up for our live stream. We'll probably see all of y'all probably at DCA because we're deluxe pass holders. But we do intend to check out more of Ghost Town Live and Knott's summer stuff and things.
Yeah, we have a lot more to do, a lot more to cover, and a lot more live streams.
Yeah, so check us out. If you like us, just hit that bell for notifications, hit that subscribe button. And if you really like us and want to support our hobby, just donate to our Ko-Fi
Yep.
because parking ain't cheap.
And
Getting out of that parking lot after the fireworks was a big mistake.
yeah, we should have.
Never again should have took the Uber home.
Yeah, but live and learn. Like I say at the end of all my food videos, all the links should be in the description. And yeah, you can also donate to us if you want to donate to the cause. So
All right, till the spires.
legends live forever.